Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ recap of Monday Night Raw for February 3rd, 2020. We are on the road to WrestleMania, but before WrestleMania, we have a roadblock, which is not called Roadblock, but it is called the Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. Let's go ahead and get started with this recap. Shout out to the chat room, everyone watching live. I appreciate your viewership. Whether it's live or on demand, thank you for watching. Raw kicked off with the intro and pyro, and then we had a recap of what happened last week when Randy Orton, that son of a bitch Viper, took out the returning Edge. Randy Orton came out and he was coming into the ring to explain why. Why, Randy, why? The signs were in the crowd. People wanted to know why he did it, why he attacked Edge. There were a lot of boos for Randy Orton. He climbed up the ropes and was acting like he was going to do his pose. However, there was no pose. He started to talk, but then he got drowned out by boos. Crowd chanted Edge. Orton kept trying to talk, and finally he was like, I can't do this. And then he walked out of the ring. So no explanation, although he did say that he owes the people an explanation. It was better than the typical promo where somebody comes out and says, I don't owe any of you an explanation. I actually thought that this was a really good segment. Randy Orton was milking the crowd for all it was worth, and he got a lot of heat for this segment. Crowd did the goodbye song as he was leaving. Nice setup here to slowly build up the Randy Orton match with Edge. Keep in mind, we still have 2 months until WrestleMania, so you gotta spread it out a little bit. This week's Raw was in Salt Lake City, Utah, and there was some doubt earlier in the day if Raw was even going to take place because Utah had this major snowstorm and schools were closed down earlier today, and there was some concern that there would be travel issues, not just for the talent, but also fans coming into the arena for the show. However, the show went on and the crowd showed up. The place was pretty full from what I could tell, and they were very invested in the show. It was one of the better Raw crowds in quite some time. So hats off to Salt Lake City. You guys brought it. You came to the show and you brought the energy, and it was fun. The fans definitely helped make Raw more of an exciting show this week. We had a recap of Drew McIntyre winning the Royal Rumble match, and then it was announced that there would be a triple threat match in the main event to determine the opponent for Brock Lesnar at the Super Showdown pay-per-view. We had a rematch because it's WWE and you have to do it. You have to do a rematch because just cuz. No reason whatsoever. We had Lana Vs Liv Morgan in a rematch. Liv came out with brand new music. However, Lana's graphic was still on the big screen as Liv was making her entrance. Liv won a very quick match against Lana, and that's when we had the return of Ruby Riott, still with her babyface music. She came out, and it looked like she was going to give some props to Liv. They were going to hug. Everything was going to be happy between them, but swerve. Vince Russo swerve, bro. We had the heel turn from Ruby Riott. Maybe she'll get new music next week since she's now, I guess, back officially as a heel. I mean, when she came out, she got that return pop. So it wasn't exactly clear if she was going to be a face or a heel, but she's clearly a heel. She beat the crap out of Liv, and then Lana picked up the scraps, hit the X Factor on Liv after the match. So we'll see what happens next with Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Looks like we have a little bit of a feud between these two. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat. First one of the evening. Says, how long until Ruby Riott starts jobbing again? Good question, Psycho. I think that at least for the short term, she'll get a push, but we'll see. Hopefully, she gets some kind of a push after being gone for so long and they do not give up on her after a month. One would think that they'll do something with her for a while and she'll get a renewed push now that she's back, and it will last more than just a couple of weeks. But you never know. WWE, throughout the show, they had footage air of the snow and all the cars getting stuck on the highways and all the chaos and craziness in Salt Lake City, and mentioned how the fans showed up and they decided to be there despite the weather advisories, officials recommending people to stay home and not get on the road. We had Mojo Rawley come out for a match with Drew McIntyre. Mojo Rawley is the reigning and defending 24/7 champion. There was a recap of Drew McIntyre's promo from last week's Raw where he officially made the match with Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania. Drew came out and he thanked the fans for showing up despite the blizzard conditions, and he vowed to kick Brock Lesnar's ass and become WWE champion at WrestleMania. And during this promo, he mentioned that he forgot Mojo Rawley was there for a second, and he said he was gonna kick off Mojo's head in 3 seconds, and that's exactly what he did. The match was literally bell rang, Claymore, pinfall victory for Drew McIntyre. Poor Mojo Rawley. He's getting the EC3 treatment minus not being on television at all. At least Mojo's on TV, so that's more than EC3 can say at this point. There was a sign in the crowd that said Mojo's only fan. So there you go. At least Mojo had one fan. We had a Buddy Murphy and AOP promo backstage. And by the way, regarding the 24/7 title, the title's not on the line when guys have matches that are not for the 24/7 title. So it's technically not a 24/7 title, but they call it the 24/7 title. I think they should just get rid of it, but I've been saying that for weeks now. It has long since run its course as far as I'm concerned. So anyways, Buddy Murphy AOP promo talked about how they are on the right side of history. They're working harder and not smarter. Seth Rollins came in to finish the promo, said that he thought he lost his WrestleMania chance, but now that he's in the triple threat, he can beat Brock Lesnar again, since he's already beaten Brock twice, and mentioned that Drew McIntyre needs to start preparing for a new WrestleMania opponent. We had a 6-man elimination tag team match. Seth Rollins came out there to support his team, and the Viking Raiders kind of got taken out. Ivar went for something and he missed. He crashed into the LED board, shoulder first. And then while this was going on, Eric got hit with the curb stomp by Seth Rollins, and Murphy pinned Eric for the elimination. This was an elimination match. Ivar was taken to the back because of the bad shoulder, so he was out. Kevin Owens was down to himself against AOP and Buddy Murphy, but managed to make a comeback. He hit the pop-up powerbomb to pin Murphy, and then he hit the stunner to pin Akam. That's when Kevin Owens was about to finish off Razor, but then Rollins got on the apron and Razor took advantage of the distraction, hit not one, but 2 spine busters to pin Kevin Owens. After the match, the fans were very respectful of Owens. They gave him this standing ovation, which I thought was pretty cool. So good segment here overall. I'm a little surprised that Razor won the match for his team. I figured it would have been Buddy Murphy since he's the guy that WWE's pushing. Just seems random that one member of AOP would be the last man standing. But I still thought it was a really solid match here, and they found a creative way to get the Viking Raiders out of this elimination match without making them look too bad, I guess. We had Ricochet backstage cutting a promo. He was also part of the triple threat. Him, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley. WWE is still trying with Ricochet when it comes to the promos. This one was not bad. This one was decent. He said that the triple threat is his chance to headline WrestleMania. He might not be as bad or as strong as Lashley, and he doesn't have a gang like Seth Rollins, but he has one thing that they don't have: determination, and that will outweigh the probability. So yeah, I thought this was one of Ricochet's better promos, better than usual. We had Aleister Black picking up a quick victory over a not-so-game Eric Young. Again, Eric Young not doing too well in WWE as far as exposure goes, but hey, better than EC3. Sting is WCW with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, who do you think Goldberg is going to face? I will get to that here in just a second. Real quick, after the match, Aleister Black cut a promo, talked about how people can choose whoever they want to be, and he says that drives relentless competition, and talked about how he's at where he's at because he's able to be who he wants to be. So yeah, the usual Aleister Black weird promo, but it was fine. It was good. So then we had an ad for SmackDown on this Friday. Goldberg, Bill Goldberg, old Whisker Biscuit himself, will be on SmackDown this Friday. And funny enough, there's another Saudi Arabia pay-per-view coming up later this month. So put two and two together. Looks like Goldberg is going to be at Super Showdown. Who will he face? Will it be Roman Reigns? Will it be Braun Strowman? Will it be The Fiend? Will it be King Corbin? Lots of people speculating about this, and we'll see what the big announcement is, and we'll see what happens. Mo Cameron with a $2.79 super chat. The answer to that question is no. Next up, we had Humberto versus, well, it ended up being Angel Garza from NXT. Zelina Vega came out with Angel and said that Humberto will pay the price for taking out Andrade. And then it was mentioned that Angel is, in fact, Humberto's cousin. He's the hottest Latino star in WWE, according to Zelina. Angel then cut a promo, talked about how Humberto will answer to him. Humberto grabbed the mic, started speaking in Spanish. He got slapped by Zelina. Angel then took a cheap shot, and then he took out Humberto with the wing clipper. Then he exposed the floor and was going to do the hammerlock DDT on the floor. That's when Rey Mysterio came out to make the save. We had a match between these guys, Mysterio and Angel Garza. Garza took off his pants, threw it at Mysterio. Mysterio was going for the 619. Zelina Vega pulled Garza to safety. Rey got on the outside of the ring. There was a little bit of an exchange between Rey and Zelina, and that's when Garza kicked Rey in the head, and then he gave Rey the hammerlock DDT on the concrete floor, causing a disqualification. Now, I thought DQs only happened when a wrestler uses a weapon on somebody. The floor is not technically a weapon. I mean, it's just there. But I guess in this case it was a DQ. I guess it's such a vicious thing to do to drill somebody on the concrete floor that it justifies a disqualification. Rey Mysterio taken out, and we'll see if he's off television now for a while. Time will tell on that. We had Charlotte Flair come out for a promo to finally name her opponent for WrestleMania. Who is she going to face? Will it be Becky Lynch from Raw? Will it be Bayley from SmackDown? She mentioned that she's held both titles, multiple times. She's a 10-time champion combined, and she's beaten both Becky Lynch and Bayley. At this point, the crowd started chanting for Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte said, yes, she does have love for NXT. Then, sure enough, Rhea Ripley herself in the flesh, NXT champion, comes out, and Rhea says that Charlotte has never beaten her. And not only that, but she, Rhea Ripley, has defeated Charlotte. She held up the title and she basically challenged Charlotte for WrestleMania. However, Charlotte walked away. She gave a woo on the way to the back, but no answer. However, this coming Wednesday on NXT, Charlotte will apparently answer Rhea Ripley's challenge for WrestleMania. Will it be enough? Will Charlotte being on NXT be enough for NXT to defeat AEW in viewership for the first time in 2020? Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat says, with the Garza joining Vega and Andrade, does this mean Andrade will be U.S. champion for the foreseeable future? Also, what is your favorite Kane match? It looks to me like Andrade is going to be champion through the suspension. I think that if he was going to be stripped of the title, it would have been announced on this show. So yeah, I think he's just going to stay champion. And WWE really doesn't apply that 30-day rule anymore, except for rare occasions. I mean, there's always exceptions, but for the most part, it hasn't been done in a very long time. WWE has pretty much just ignored that old rule that Jack Tunney had back in the day. Big Rocker Johnson with a $2 super chat says, 6-man Lucha Libre tag team match with Kane at WrestleMania. That's an interesting one. I mean, that would definitely be a good idea to have Cain Velasquez in a multi-man match where he doesn't have to carry anything. He can just come in for the hot tag, do a few moves, and he's part of WrestleMania. So I could potentially see WWE doing something like that. And also, it gets more people on the card. So, I mean, I think that's a realistic possibility that you could throw Rey Mysterio, Humberto, and Kane against Andrade, Angel Garza, and another person. They could do a 6-man match like that. I think that would be fine for WrestleMania. I could see WWE potentially doing that. 6-man lucha match. I like it. Nice idea. We had Bob the Lash, a.k.a. Bobby Lashley, interviewed. He said he's not worried about Lana losing earlier on the show. He said that he's going to have plenty of reasons to celebrate after winning the triple threat match. Says he will beat Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown and then beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. We had Asuka one-on-one with Natalya. Natalya got the sharpshooter on, but Asuka got to the rope, and then Kairi Sane distracted Natalya. Asuka took advantage, put on the Asuka lock to score the victory over a very game Natalya. Pretty lengthy match here between these two. Crowd was into it. They were into pretty much everything on the show. After the match, we had Asuka get on the mic. She called out Becky Lynch. She wanted a rematch for the Raw Women's title. Becky came out and she was wearing these Deal With It sunglasses. For those of you that know the Deal With It meme and the sunglasses, Becky Lynch actually had a real-life pair of these sunglasses. Cool or cringy? Let me know in the chat room. Anyways, Becky accepted the match and talked about how she has superpowers now. Kairi Sane tried to attack her from behind. Becky attacked her and said, hey, told you, superpowers, eyes in the back of her head. Robbie Vice says Becky is trying too hard. JSpin401 says Becky was cringy. Sting is WCW says it was cool. Curtis Butler says it was cringy. Hey, you know one positive? So get this, guys. Sticking it to Montez Ford since he blocked No DQ on Twitter. I'm bumping up Raw's letter grade because no Street Profits on this show. And I was wondering when Raw was over, like, I was pretty happy. And I'm like, there was no Street Profits segment. So, yeah, Raw gets a bump up, no Street Profits. Yeah. Tony H with a $2 super chat says the women's tag team titles are useless right now. Very true, Tony H. And I was even thinking to myself when Asuka's challenging Becky Lynch, I'm like, well, when's Asuka and Kairi Sane, when are they going to defend the women's tag team titles? I mean, come on now. We had the main event match, the triple threat, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Ricochet. Seth Rollins cut a promo before the match. He asked the fans to applaud Buddy Murphy and AOP for their victory, but then said, now it's his time to shine. He talked about how he beat Brock Lesnar and the fans used to cheer for him, but now they have crucified him. They have crucified CrossFit Jesus. He didn't say that, but just said they crucified him. He said that he will beat Brock Lesnar again, but this time he's going to do it for the greater good. And then he said that down the line, he will go down as the man that saved the wrestling industry. We had the triple threat match, and pretty early in the match, AOP and Buddy Murphy came down. They attacked both Ricochet and Lashley. That's when Kevin Owens, along with the Viking Raiders, came back out, and they used steel chairs to run off Murphy and the AOP. We had the commercial break. Match was restored to its normal triple threat match. And in the end, it was Ricochet who, with 1 minute left of TV time, hit the 630 to pin Bobby Lashley. And then he was immediately jumped from behind by Brock Lesnar. Quick F5, and then Raw abruptly went off the air. If you guys follow me on Twitter, @AaronRift, I've already tweeted it. Give it a retweet. If you guys want a free No DQ shirt, go on there and retweet what I put on there regarding Ricochet and Bobby Lashley. Or Brock Lesnar, excuse me. If Brock Lesnar loses the WWE title to Ricochet, I'm not giving away just one shirt. I'm giving away 5 No DQ shirts if Brock Lesnar loses the WWE Championship to Ricochet at Super Showdown. So go over there and retweet it because I'm giving away 5 shirts. I've never done that before where I'm offering 5 shirts for a match if it goes a certain way. The Game is on 100 with a $2 super chat says, can't wait to see Brock Lesnar squash Ricochet in under 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I'll be shocked. So I'm going to give a little bit of a rant here. One of the few things about Raw I really wasn't a big fan of. Ricochet winning. Come on now. Does anybody buy into Ricochet as a credible threat to Brock Lesnar? And on top of that, we've already seen this match before. We saw Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. We saw Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. We've seen Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. We've seen Brock Lesnar versus the little underdog that is a great wrestler, great high flyer, all that stuff. We've seen that story told many times. I wanted to see Lashley and Brock Lesnar. That's the match that, to me, would make the most sense for Super Showdown. I mean, nobody even cares about this pay-per-view in the first place, but at least it's something different. You know, it's the two big bulls going at it. I just like to see it for fun. You know, just see these two giant beasts clashing. That would have been way more appealing to me than Lashley versus Ricochet. So, yeah, I'm not really feeling this one, but I'm sure Ricochet will fly around and he'll take some cool bumps and, you know, it'll be what it's going to be. Keith Johnson with a $2 super chat says, LOL, Aaron, you really hate the Street Profits. We get it. I don't hate them. I'm just not a fan of a lot of their comedy. I think they're solid wrestlers as a tag team. I think they're really solid, but the comedy has been not my cup of tea. And DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat says, Aaron Rift is God and virtue is baby Jesus. All right then. I'm not going to touch that one, but thank you for that, DJ. I do appreciate the super chat. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do the letter grade for the show. I thought Raw was good this week. For a 3-hour show, I thought it was better than usual. Hot crowd. We had some noteworthy things. Rhea Ripley coming out to challenge Charlotte. We had the return of Ruby Riott. We had a solid 6-man elimination tag team match. Loved the beginning with Randy Orton. So some good stuff on this show. I did enjoy Raw overall. I'm going to give it a B-, and I only say a B- because of Ricochet winning. If Bobby Lashley won, I would have bumped it to a B. But pretty solid show overall. And Street Profits not being on made sure it wasn't going below a B-. Let's see here. People's Wrestling Channel gives it a C+. And Baller B. Scott with a C-. Nelson Moreno with an A. How about that? Christopher Mace with a B+. David N with a B-. OG85 with a B. More Faves with a B-. And Tic Tat Tat with a B-. Calvin Bowman with a B-. CC Drink with a B+. And Curtis Butler says C+, and the shirt fits. So there you go, guys. Curtis Butler got his No DQ shirt. You guys could get one too. Make sure you go over at Aaron Rift on Twitter and retweet about Ricochet and Bob. And I keep saying Bobby Lashley because I want him in the Super Showdown match. I'm mad that Bobby Lashley is not facing Brock Lesnar. That's the match I want to see. I don't give a shit about a little guy bumping around for Brock. I want to see a big behemoth go up against Brock. Ken Terminated by Google with a $5 super chat says, Aaron Rift is probably the only no DQ personality to look good with a shaved head. Sorry, Chris Mace. Ow, that's mean. He says, please no King Corbin versus Goldberg at Saudi Arabia. I know King Corbin and Goldberg would be easy for Goldberg because he could just come out there and do a few moves, spear, jackhammer to Corbin. Corbin will make him look good. He'll run his mouth and then Goldberg will beat him up. But if Goldberg's going to wrestle again, you got to go big or go home. That's my motto. Go big or go home. Goldberg has to face somebody big. I don't want to see Goldberg versus King Corbin or Dolph Ziggler or Bobby Roode. I want to see a dream match. If you're bringing back Goldberg, you're going to pay him $2 million, $3 million for one match in Saudi Arabia. Go big or go home. Roman Reigns or Strowman. Something significant. And like I said, go big or go home. Should have been Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, but that's my opinion. Sting is WCW with a $2 super chat says, why won't WWE give us Lashley versus Lesnar? Your guess is as good as mine. I guess maybe they just want to give Ricochet a little bit of a push and do something with him for fun. I don't know. I don't know why Bobby Lashley's not getting the opportunity. I really don't. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, how about Goldberg versus Sting? Ooh, that's a bad idea. Thank you for the super chat, though. The problem with that is who's going to carry who. If Sting was going to do one more match, I mean, he needs something really safe. That would be a disaster in the making. That is not a good idea. You want, if Sting's going to come back, and I'll believe that when I see it, it would have to be somebody that could work a safe match with him. Somebody who could carry it. That one is not good. Tony H with the $2 super chat says, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, Fiend attacks both of them after the match. That could be an interesting one. Or the Fiend versus Goldberg. Because, I mean, the Fiend stuff is mainly, storyline and character more than the actual wrestling. So, with the smoke and mirrors and all that, I would not mind Fiend versus Goldberg. Why not? I mean, Goldberg could hit a spear. Fiend could set up from it. He could hit another spear, get a 2 count. Fiend could hit Sister Abigail, Goldberg kicks out. You could do one of those kind of matches with Goldberg. Those are the type of matches he does anyways. So yeah, that one would be fine. And then Roman Reigns could try to get payback on Goldberg's behalf at WrestleMania. So that's an idea right there. And Stephen Osborne with the $2 super chat says, Goldberg jobs to the Fiend. I like it too because Goldberg is another legend. So that's one more person that the Fiend can add to his wall. He has Kane on there and other legends. So why not put Goldberg on the list as well? Curtis Butler says Goldberg versus Sheamus, ZZZZZ. Yeah, I'm not sure I would do that one. First of all, I don't think it would be a good idea for Sheamus to be putting over Goldberg. And yeah, I guess Goldberg could put over Sheamus. But if Goldberg's coming to Saudi Arabia to lose, again, should be a top-tier guy. Just my take on it. If Goldberg's facing a mid-carder, he should be going over. You know, he's not going to go over Roman Reigns or even Braun Strowman, but he should be going over anybody that's not a top-tier guy. So I don't know if I would do Goldberg versus Sheamus. Mike D with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Mike D. He says, I think it's Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. It was teased on Twitter a few weeks ago. Well, that is definitely something fans have been speculating on ever since that tweet went out. So yeah, that could certainly be the match for Saudi Arabia. Spear versus Spear. And I think Roman could probably get a good match out of Goldberg. And here's the thing, to use Jeff Meacham's line. Virtue mentions this. People call out Roman Reigns, Mo Camera in particular, but Roman Reigns has gotten good matches out of a lot of people. He got a good match out of Big Show when Big Show was past his prime. So I think that Roman Reigns could probably get a good match out of Goldberg. I think that Roman Reigns could make it work. And again, that is a testament to Roman Reigns and him being a great worker. I know people like to put him down and whatnot, but I think the guy could bring the best out of Goldberg and make it a passable match. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat. He's being bad here. Goldberg versus Rift Aronson. Do not summon Rift Aronson. He was in Portland, Oregon, and he's dead there. He's not going to be following me. Rift Aronson is gone. He destroyed my office, but he is back, buried, dead, never coming back again. Goldberg versus Keith Lee. That would be interesting, but I don't think Keith Lee is going to be doing a match with Goldberg at this stage of the game. I think like it's going to be somebody who's already more established for the Saudi Arabia show, but that's just my gut feeling on it. Mo Camera versus Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. There you go. All right, guys, so on that note, I will go ahead and wrap up this review. I will be back Wednesday night to discuss AEW Dynamite and NXT, but real quick here, Sting is WCW with a $2 super chat. Do you think Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar will main event? I think there's a very decent chance of it, especially if McIntyre is winning the title. If not, I could see it going on earlier. I don't think they're going to repeat what they did last year with it going on first. So I think that if WWE is going to strap the rocket to Drew, it would make sense to go on last. And, you know, they have no Ronda Rousey this year, so I think there's a pretty good chance that Brock's match will close the show. So on that note, I will see you guys Wednesday night. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, tell a friend. Make sure you like this video, click on the thumbs up, and turn on your notifications for updates. I'll see you guys next time.